hi, beautiful souls. No frequencies today, just the beautiful birds. I'm sitting outside seeing who might be logging in. Today's topic is the law of detachment. And yeah, I made a spelling error, but I'll correct that when I repost this. Let's chat about this universal law that's weaved into most religious teachings. The law of detachment, Christ spoke about this, and so many others of the prophets spoke about detaching yourself from the material world. But I want to lean into this for manifestation. Good morning. Manifestation, the law works like this. If you are too attached to the outcome, it won't happen. You're actually blocking it with the energies of control. So I want you to lean into this today, and if you are interested in studying this a little further, jump into my new membership. This will be our topic for next Wednesday's discussion. And even if you can't make the online coaching session, you can watch the replays and go through the worksheets at your own pace. I would love to have you there. So I'm offering the of the membership just for the next 2 weeks at $33 a month. You'll be locked in at that price as a foundational member, and I'll kick the prices up. And for that, you will receive discounts, opportunities to co-create, opportunities to do events together, and be mentored by myself at a discount price as well. I'm super excited for this. We're building a really passionate community. So what is the law of detachment? It says this: we must detach ourselves from the result or the outcome in order to allow what we desire to materialize into the physical realm. And when we have done our part, we must learn to let go of the outcome of all things. And so this is leaning into trusting the Creator, trusting the process, because if you want it your way, you are looking at things with a very limited perspective. Yes, you have the spark of the divine within, but without the bigger picture, sometimes we can lean into wanting things that aren't good for us. Come on, all of you watching, we've all been in a desperate relationship with another partner that we desperately desired and wanted, and in fact, the outcome was often toxic. And so this is where we trust wisdom. So it's release, and whatever we release comes back to us if it's for the better good of all. So it's not just the game that you're playing, it's the game for the other person involved. And if we think about this in the loss of relationships, we can trust the process that we don't meet people accidentally, and that true love is freedom. A lot of us have experienced this stifling, what people like to think of as love, when in fact it's manipulation and control, where they have put you into a situation that you are not comfortable with and overriding your divine free will. So this all loops into the law of detachment. To truly connect with someone and experience love freely, we must learn to let go of our attachments. And this is why I've started my 9 weeks course program. The first part of my course, I'm talking to you about attachments, healthy attachments, unhealthy attachments, and also delusional attachments. We've all had a few of those as well. Please, if you've suffered any of this, please jot it in the comments below. We have to let go in order to trust the divine and the much bigger picture. And I wanted to lean into the feelings of being sentimental. We sometimes give ourselves a false sense of righteousness with thinking that we're good people because we're incredibly sentimental. But I just want to burst the little bubble here and have you know that sometimes being overly sentimental means that you have attachments to things in the past. Now, as a spiritual being, there is no past, there is no future. All you have is now. You are co-creating and living your now according to the energies that you're holding. And so if we are leaning into being very sentimental about things from belief systems or false belief matrix systems, that can tether our sacred energies to past or future, and we're actually draining our energy field from the now. So I want to give some examples of this that are fairly extreme. When I was living in Jakarta, I was helping out in a women's refuge for women that had been sexually abused and teaching them some life skills so that they could learn how to make some money. Because, you know, if you are excommunicated from your family because of sexual abuse, which I just want to say most of those cases happened by a family member, and the shame that that brought up within the family, instead of the family clinging to help and assist the victim, and often they were pregnant, which is just really, really sad, they would cling to the attachment of the egocentric pride of keeping the family name intact. And so, do you see how it's working backwards? The victim was ostracized and the family name was protected, and they just shoved it under the carpet and lived their happy fairy stories. And so they were attached to this false illusion of the perfection of that family unit, because every family has skeletons in it. Until we get brave enough to detach ourselves from what is acceptable within our friendship groups or our work groups or even our governmental groups, we just will be seeing this rinse repeat. So I want to really challenge you today to step out of the mindset of the sheep. And Christ gave the analogy of us being sheep because sheep follow. Now, my beautiful mama who's on this morning, hi mummy, she grew up on a sheep farm, and she tells me that sheep aren't particularly smart, that if one sheep jumps over the cliff, they'll all follow. And so we need to detach from the modern maelstrom of thinking, actually, of our societal program, which is the matrix program. You know, just because we've done it this way in the past doesn't mean that it's healthy or that it is working for our better good, because as long as you're doing things or spending time with the wrong people, you will not meet the right people. You don't have the energy for it. So if we're trapped in the attachment of trying to fix another relationship or mend a friendship that universally is being pulled from us, you might be time wasting and missing your perfect opportunities to meet the right people to help you launch into your soul agreement. So implying often, to be sentimental means implying often that the emotions are involved a little too much because of attachments. So it's all emotions. Emotions are your sacred energy. We are the bank, the body, the ship, the light ship of sacred emotional energies, energy and motion. And so attachment wants to hold on tight. Attachment wants it my way. Attachment wants to tether and bind. Attachment is afraid of change. And we attach ourselves to people, places, things, events or memories, and other people's giftings. And if we attach ourselves to other people's giftings, that can land into jealousy. And all of that can be a little bit toxic. And let me know if you've experienced any of this. To increase sentimental thoughts might be also coached or manipulated by the giving of gifts. And this is where the giving of gifts can get really sticky. So if you've had a breakup, I want you to look around the house today prayerfully and ask the Spirit to reveal to you, is there anything vibrating with control in my house today? It could be in your wardrobe, it could be in your car. You'll be surprised what Spirit whispers for you to detach from as you are expanding this type of spiritual mindset. This is the trusting the process that the Divine's got your back, and to just say, oh, I'm ready to just flow and float with it. I know that love has my back. I know that I'm worthy of love. I know that I've messed up in the past with choosing the wrong types of people in my life. These people were attracted to me because I was holding the same energy. So if that makes sense, we have no blame for anybody that's done wrong by us or harmed us. We just see ourselves in that reflection, shift the emotional attachments or energies. Maybe it's a fear of doing things on your own, like it's been for me. Feel into that and cut those spiritual cords and trust the Divine has your back to take you to higher places. Now, this law is fundamental in creating space for genuine connections. Genuine connections. There is a lot of fake connections. In fact, I've noticed something in my coaching clients that when we pray or try to manifest something, we're often sent the counterfeit first, just to test us, to see whether we're up to receiving what we've asked for, whether we have learned the lessons from the past attachment issues, and whether or not we have embraced the trust in the divine to give us change. Change feels really uncomfortable, right? So I've written down a list here for you that if you stay attached to these 12 things, you won't move forward in life. You will just be rinse repeating. So feel into this and see whether this hits home for you today. So there is underlying feelings of resentment or regret. This will hold you back. This will hold you back from your higher state of consciousness. This will hold you back from expansion. This will hold you back from being the leader of the pack, not the follower, not the sheep. We're funny because in the animal kingdom, they're pack animals, right? This is us in the body. We want to fit in. This is where religious systems have made billions of dollars by manipulating you into a system where you feel like you belong. And I think you'll find these little cliques and groups all over the world in all types of capacities. You know, the intelligent person wants to fit into a university system. There are so many. I mean, you can just think about that for yourself. But if we can release and fly ahead of it all, trusting that the divine's got our back, we actually don't need to fit in, because authenticity is a higher frequency than joy. This is close to ascension, actually. This is the narrow gate that Christ is talking about. You don't have to be like anybody else in order to be loved and accepted. And do you know the freedom in that? That is freedom. The mask is lifted. Literally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and within your magnetic field. And so you're not faking it. And picture this, when we're faking energies or faking emotions or faking who we are, usually by people pleasing and trying to fit into a group that we weren't meant to fit into, we will be attracting what we're faking. And can you see how dangerous this is? It's actually manipulative from our part. So number 2, if you stay attached to these 12 things, you won't move forward in life, is this. It is a perfectionist streak. Now, perfectionism is fear repackaged. Perfectionism wants everything aligned so that you don't judge me, so that you love me, so that you think I'm amazing, so that you actually literally worship me. Feel into that and see whether that resonates, because we all have this little perfectionist streak that we need to release. You need to be loved no matter how you turn up. You need to be loved whether you stumble with your words on your social media, whether you fail in your new entrepreneurial business, but you've got the guts to try something, whether you look great today or whether you are sitting there in your pajamas with tears in your eyes. You deserve to be loved. So perfectionism needs to move out of your energy field. Number 3 is unhealthy procrastination. Procrastination is fear as well. We are called to do something and yet there's something blocking us. Usually that's us. We are blocking ourselves because of the fears once again. And number 4 is attachment to material things. All the prophets and sages of old speak on these things. Remember that the matter realm is lower vibrational things. The body is lower vibrational. So if I am attached to how I look, I am attached to the matter realm, which is ruled by Saturn. If I am attached to how my house looks, not that these things are bad, but if they're your everything, if I'm attached to fitting into my family unit or the family name, even though it's toxic, these are matter density things. The spirit must be free and flow and expand out of this state. So bear this in mind. So if anybody's just talking to you as a coach or as a mentor about spiritual things or manifestation and it only involves material things, warning, warning, warning. Helium 44 is saying especially family. Yeah, we are all birthed into the archetypical family units in order to learn these things. It is actually the same as the heavenly Mazzaroth, which is the clock, which is astrology. So we have different types in the family in order to learn our individuality. We weren't born to fit in, we were born to shine. And thank you for your lovely comment. I appreciate you. Your inability to change. Only you can embrace change. Remember that growth happens out of your comfort zone. So we must change, we must evolve, we must shed the old skin, we must shed old habits of doing things in order to move forward in life. Our next thing holding us back is a fear of failure. There is not a single entrepreneur that hasn't failed. In my bio, you will see that I put that I'm an entrepreneur because I don't box myself into one business strategy. I am creative and expansive. In fact, one of my manifestation streams in the last few years is to have 7 levels of income stream, and it's literally dropping into me because I asked the divine for that, because I don't want to be pigeonholed. I want to flow. It is difficult to market yourself, but it's getting easier with AI now to make things like funnels. I'm learning all these new things. So attracting your tribe for different dimensions of self too is really important. And I think that we should have passion projects, we should have money-making projects, we should have charitable projects, we should have different aspects of our personality shining in our entrepreneurial self. In fact, Spirit said to me a few years ago that there is no time like now to start your own business. Now, I have only ever worked for self, but if you would like some business coaching, reach out. I love to help you brainstorm in what your passion projects could be and how you might be able to monetize those things. I would love, please hit my button in my booking sessions. Just for $99 you can have a half-hour brainstorming session to see whether or not we're a good match. And I really do only want to work with those that are a good match for me, because I'm not attached to any outcome. Okay, and then the next one is pride, and you hold pride in your solar plexus. Pride is unteachable. Pride is actually a principality energy. It is a group think. It is a group think of eons, right back to Babylonian times. Pride has actually been worshipped. Our leaders rule in pride, sadly. And so the matrix system crumbling means that we as beautiful spiritual beings expanding our consciousness, the first thing we need to drop is pride. Pride in our identity, pride in our religious teachings, thinking that we're the chosen ones, pride in how we look, pride in what we earn, pride in who we think we are with our intelligence capacity. Because I'll tell you what, once consciousness is expanded, you will be channeling wisdom in. This is nothing you can learn from a book or from a teacher or a guru in the matter realm. These things are pulled in from the heavenly realm. And so this is available and accessible to anybody, no matter your financial status, no matter your educational status, no matter who your family are. And so can you see the sweeping up of the old mindsets, in that you had to go to the right school in order to get the right career and you had to have the right connections? Well, no, New Earth builders who are detaching from all these things in the material plane are elevating and lifting up really rapidly and working from a different dimensional state, which is a higher state of thinking actually, and it all comes from the heart space. The next one that I'd like to mention is unachievable expectations of self. This paralyzes us with fear, yet again, from detaching from the outcome. Now, I'm a very practical person, and I know the dream to climb Mount Everest will probably never happen because I'm not disciplined, or I don't have the desire to do the training for that. So I want you to analyze, yes, this is my desire. I'm trying to manifest this desire. I want to pull this desire in, but am I going to do the do to get me there? Because if you're not willing to think the thought, dream big, hold it within you, embody it, and then do the do, which is making actionable steps towards it every single day. Every single day I am actioning towards building helium. I just said your name by accident. Sorry, Helium. Your message caught me off guard. By pulling in my manifestation for my healing houses, you see how I got the frequency there. I I'm making baby steps towards that every single day. And so my manifestation is pulling into the matter realm by me actioning it every single day. And now I'll answer your question if I can. Do we need to forgive for detachment? Oh, yes, we do. How are you going to detach from anybody that's hurt you, or anybody that has bound themselves up to you in your sentimental desires, even the desire to think the best of somebody that's showing you their heart where it isn't what you thought it was? We have to forgive that. And we also need to forgive self in that, because it's the trauma in us that's attaching that to us. There's trauma bonds that happen. Yeah, somebody that has sexual addiction, for example, they're looking for gratification through the flesh body, through the matter. But they never find gratification through the matter, because what they don't realize, that while they're trying to attach to matter, e.g. body, what they're really needing is the connection of intimacy. And you cannot achieve intimacy with flesh. It just, because it's spirit connection. This is the old principle of Tantra. So 100%, that's a great question, Helium 44. We are attraction healing. We are attracting into our field what we need to learn to heal from, and therefore there is no enemy. So what are you attracting today? Are you attracting sticky relationships? Are you attracting rinse repeat? Are you manifesting poverty imprint again? Are you manifesting things to show you, hey, wake up, you need to detach in order to attract things out of the material realm and pull them in? The next thing that will block you from moving forward in life is the refusal to let go of toxic relationships. A lot of us hold on to toxic relationships because we want to fix the other person. Oh, isn't that tempting, control freaks like me? It doesn't work. You cannot do the healing or the inner work for somebody else. All you can fix is self. That person will then either vibrate out of your life, or they will catch up energetically because you're shifting and changing. This too works for families. We attach ourselves to the desire that, oh, well, better the devil, this person, if I don't have this relationship, I'll be lonely. And so we're not trusting the divine. Remember, Christ was mentioned as a husband maker, king. And so when we feel into that law of detachment, this needs to be our everything. We need to run ahead of the pack, actually. We need to break off from the bubbles of the matrix and float ahead to be expansive, plugging into a higher state of consciousness in order to understand the wisdom in these spiritual ancient teachings. The next thing that I have here on the list is a relentless pursuit of external validation. How many of us don't make change, or don't start the new business, or don't speak online our truths because we're waiting for somebody to say, hey, you're amazing, you've got this. We want the accolades before we've actually done the difficult work. Well, it works back to front, actually. Don't expect your inner circle, your family, or your closest friends to support your new venture, your new business. They aren't your clients, right? They're the ones that you are growing out of. They're your people, and the old you was supported by this family unit or this friendship unit, but you have to birth out of this like the rogue cell, and then you shine and watch these people promoting you once you've made it. I promise you that's how it's happened. So don't worry, just keep speaking your truth without any validation or attachments to what your people think. And the last tip that I have for you is your reluctance to seek help or support. Now, support needs to come from neutrality. Mentoring comes best from somebody that doesn't know you well. Mentoring comes from somebody that isn't attached to you emotionally, so that they can have a big picture view and show you the swing shift of blind spots that you might not be seeing. If you are interested in being mentored, I would love to work with you. I am a manifester according to my human design, and I love nothing more than coming up with ideas, concepts, giving you some sparks and ideas of and showing you too how I have birthed my passion projects into a money-making business. So if you feel ready for that expansion, jump into my membership for just $33 a month for foundational members. You've got 2 weeks to jump into that before it goes up to $44 a month. All of the resources will sit there forever, and I plan on having amazing interviews with other passion project workers as well, which are creatives, spiritual workers, healers, all of the ones that I'm interested in hanging with. I'm creating my tribe, and you can do this too. I can show you how to do it all. If you are interested in one-on-one coaching, there's a discount for members only, and I'm very excited to offer 10% discount to work with you until you see your passion project push through. I'm very excited to clap hands for you, and I promise you I won't be emotionally attached to the outcome. If you want just one session, that's okay. Feel into it and see where you're sitting, and let's all of us write a list today, a sacred list of being honest with self, because you can lie to others, but really you shouldn't be lying to self if you want to launch into expansion. Write a list of what you are attached to. Are you sentimentally attached? Is your ego attached to your old career because you think that it makes you look like a better person? Are you attached to material things? Are you attached to toxic relationships? Are you attached to old-fashioned traditions like Christmas or Ramadan, because your family would ostracize you if you didn't energize those old-fashioned things? I want you to just jump into authenticity and stop being a sheep today. God bless you, and I look forward to working with you in any capacity, even if you're just listening to my lives here for free. Lots of love, Michelle.